So you hear the word algorithm thrown around all the time, right? The social media algorithm, the streaming algorithm, it's become this huge buzzword that sounds, super complex, maybe even a little scary. But what if I told you that at its core, it's an idea you already totally understand? Okay, let's jump in and demystify this digital recipe that's basically running our world.
First things first, before we get into what an algorithm is, let's talk about where they are. Because the truth is, you've probably interacted with dozens, maybe even hundreds of them before you've even finished your morning coffee. They are, quite literally, the invisible engines of our daily lives.
Just think about your morning commute for a second. You grab your phone, you type in an address, and bam! In seconds, it maps out the best route, dodging traffic jams, avoiding road closures. How in the world does it do that?
Well, you probably guessed it. The answer is an algorithm. But it is so much more than just your GPS. That movie that Netflix just knows you're going to love, that's an algorithm. The reason you suddenly see a post from an old high school friend in your social media feed, yep, an algorithm. They are constantly humming along in the background, quietly shaping pretty much everything you see and do online.
Okay, so they're everywhere. We get it. But what is one, really? Let's peel back all the confusing tech speak and get down to a super simple and honestly really powerful way of looking at it.
So here is the official textbook definition. A finite sequence of mathematically rigorous instructions. Yikes. Okay, let's break that down real quick. Finite sequence just means it has a beginning and an end. It doesn't go on forever. Rigorous instructions just means each step is crystal clear, no room for confusion. But honestly, there's a much easier way to think about this.
That's it. Forget all the jargon. At its heart, an algorithm is just a recipe. Seriously, think about it. A recipe has ingredients, that's your data, your input. It has a set of clear step-by-step instructions, and at the end, it has a finished product like a cake. That's your output, your result. If you have ever baked a cake from a recipe, congratulations, you've already used an algorithm.
So if an algorithm is just a recipe, what does a computer's cookbook look like? It's not going to say, preheat the oven to 350 or mix until fluffy, right? So what kind of instructions does it follow? Let's look at a really simple, clear example. Check this out. It's a recipe, an algorithm for finding the biggest number in any list. It's totally logical. You start by just assuming the first number is the largest. Then you go to the next one and compare. Is it bigger? If yes, that's your new largest. If no, you move on. You just repeat that until you've checked every number. There's no guesswork, no maybe. You follow these steps, you get the right answer every single time. And this super simple logic is the basic building block for even the most complicated software in the world. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, algorithms, computers, Silicon Valley, this all feels very modern. But here's what's so wild. The idea of a step-by-step recipe to solve a problem, it's not modern at all. It's actually ancient.
The word algorithm itself is a huge clue. It actually comes from the name of a 9th century Persian mathematician, Muḥammad ibn Mūsā al-Khwārizmī. When his books on math were translated into Latin centuries later, they would often start with the phrase dixit algorithmi, which just means thus spoke algorithmi. Over time, his name just sort of became the word for the method itself. How cool is that?
And the history goes back even further than that. We're talking about ancient Sumeria, around 2500 BC, where people etched the first known division algorithm onto a clay tablet. Then you fast forward thousands of years to 1843, and you have Ada Lovelace writing the first algorithm meant for a machine, a mechanical computer. So the technology has obviously changed a little bit, but that core idea, the step-by-step recipe, has been with us for millennia.
Okay, history lesson over. Let's warp back to today. We know what an algorithm is, and we know where the idea came from. But how do the ones we use every day actually work? There are a couple of really important ideas we need to get our heads around.
Now, this is a really crucial distinction. Our recipe for finding the largest number, that's a pure algorithm. It guarantees the one single correct answer. But think about your social media feed. Is there a single correct post to show you? Of course not. So for problems like that, computers use something called a heuristic. You can think of a heuristic as a shortcut or a rule of thumb. It's not designed to find the perfect answer because that might be impossible. It's designed to find a good enough answer, really, really fast. It's basically the computer's educated guess.
And just like with cooking, some recipes are way, way better than others. It's all about efficiency, working smarter, not harder. Imagine you're looking for a word in a physical dictionary. The slow way would be to start at page 1 and check every single word. That's the tall, slow bar you see, called a sequential search.
Or you could try the smart way. Open the book right to the middle. Is your word in the first half or the second? Just like that, you've eliminated half the book in one go. That's the short fast bar, a binary search. They both work, but the design of the recipe makes all the difference in the world.
So, let's recap. We have this ancient idea of a recipe, we've supercharged it with modern computing power, and we've refined it with smart ideas like heuristics and efficiency. Okay, so what? Why should you care about any of this? Because this isn't just some abstract concept anymore. This is the stuff that's actively building our future.
These powerful algorithms are behind some of the most incredible advances happening right now. They're helping doctors find signs of disease in medical scans with amazing accuracy. They're developing new kinds of encryption to keep our data safe from future supercomputers. And they're optimizing global shipping routes to save time and fuel. This is the amazing, positive power of a really well-designed recipe.
But, and this is a really big but, there's a flip side. An algorithm is only as good as the instructions and the data, the ingredients that we give it. It's like a mirror. It can only reflect what's put in front of us. So a huge question we have to ask is, what happens when our data reflects historical biases or has big blind spots? Well, the recipe will just faithfully bake those biases right into the result, whether it's for a job application or a bank loan. It shows us that we have to think just as much about our ingredients as we do about the recipe itself.
And that's really what it all comes down to. An algorithm isn't magic. It's not some mysterious box that thinks for itself. It's a tool. It's a recipe built on instructions. And that means we are the ones writing the cookbook. As these tools get more and more powerful, the really important question we all have to ask is this: what instructions, what values, and what goals are we going to write into the recipes that shape our world?